Welcome. This is the Skeinz Diaries. I am Maree here on this Thursday, 13th of April, episode 141, and it feels like forever since I caught up with you guys. I just realised it's been 10 days. You know, that's what happens with Easter, isn't it? You sort of, with the end of Epic Sale, and then I was feeling a little under the weather just before Easter. All good now, though. And and then all of a sudden, boom, here we are, 10 days later. The year is running away on me. I don't know about everybody else. Good morning, come on in. I don't know about anyone else, but literally I feel like the year is just disappearing just like that. Crazy, isn't it? But the good news is we have survived the Epic Sale, number one. Actually, a quick update on that while I do it this morning. The girls tell me, I've actually been in the shop the last couple of days, which I have loved, and the girls are telling me that they should have everything completely cleared decks right up until current orders by the end of play tonight. They have put in a massive effort over the last 2 weeks to get those orders out after the end of the sale, and I really do. They have done such an incredible job. Cheryl has been a demon just on the phone and emailing orders and sorting out everybody's any little things that have hiccups or oversolds or what have you. So there's still a few little things where wrinkles we're ironing out, but if you've been waiting for an order, the last of it should be out by the end of play tonight. And yeah, such a relief to get those out. If you're down south or there are slight deliveries, we've just discovered that with the ferries running, things are sometimes taking an extra day or two, depending on whether or not the freight got loaded. But that's just, we can't control that, sorry. But we're doing the best we can. Hey, Vicky, I caught up with Vicky. She was down. It was nice. What was it, Saturday, Easter Saturday, I popped in. It was Kara's last day, and we were so busy here. So anyone that knows Kara, she's moving down to Wairarapa, and so I popped in to see her for her last day, and the store was insane, absolutely insane. So I ended up stopping in for half an hour and helping out, and it was so many people here for concerts and visiting family, and so thank you for coming to the Bay. It's sort of, whilst there's still lots of rebuilding that needs to happen post-cyclone, there is also still lots and lots of really good stuff happening. So in being able to do stuff in town. So it's really awesome. So thank you very much for coming and visiting. And Delene, I'm going to talk about Delene had some parcels delivered from her, speaking of flood relief, and I'm going to talk about those next week and show you some of them. Really cool. This is trouble, is now trying to figure out what to talk to you about. The first thing I can tell you is, whilst I was feeling a little under the weather at the end of last week, I don't know who else is getting this, but those change of season sort of colds, like it's not super flu, it's not flu or anything, but it's just enough where you're sort of like, and you're certainly not 100. And with these sorts of bugs these days, you can't bring those to work because the last thing you want is to, share the love with the team. So I stayed at home and did some work from home instead. And I did get some knitting done, which is really exciting. So I've been working on my brother's sweater for his birthday. Now, his birthday's in a week. I can tell you right now, he's going to be getting a photograph of his sweater for his birthday present, because I can't see me getting it done between now and then. I'll come close, but no. But the body, ta-da! The body is finished. And here is and that's the sort of detailing up the side, which you can't really see unless I pull it out a little bit. It'll show more prominently once. There we go. It'll show more prominently once it is blocked, this lovely twisted rib detail at the sides. And yes, so how have I been doing this, you've been asking. So I'm not doing this with a pattern. This is Maree, let's cast on and make a jumper and not really think about what we're doing. And I'm now regretting, because I started bottom up, and I really probably should have done top down. But at the same token, I'm kind of liking the challenge of having to go bottom up and figuring out how I'm going to do this. And it's actually quite good for the old noodle. So what I've gone and done with this is I've taken the measurements for this off a sweater that I already have at home, which I know fits him perfectly, because when he was there, he got a bit chilly and he didn't have something and he had to pop it on. It looked really good. And so I've taken the measurements from that sweater, and that's what I'm using as my template. You can do this. If you've got a sweater or a cardigan or anything like that with sizing, that is a really good way to get the sizing that you want. So we've all got them. We've all got that sweatshirt. Sweatshirts are a good one. We've all got that sweatshirt or that hoodie or whatever that item of clothing is, and you put it on, and and it makes you feel like you need to stretch your stuff. We've all got it. And it's the piece that we wear to death, and we love it. Those measurements are gold, because there will be something in the ratios of those measurements in terms of finished width, length, that just that are perfect for you. Measure those, because all we're creating, remember, when we're knitting, is we're creating swaths of fabric. Whether or not we do it in pieces or we're doing it in one piece, all we're doing is creating fabric. And those measurements are gold. We can take those measurements and we can use them to actually replicate the fit. And of course, the big way to do that is through a swatch. Without having a swatch, you won't know what that sizing will be in terms of what you'll achieve with width and what you'll achieve with length. And I know I can feel the eye rolling from here. There is a lot of people go, "Oh, I never bother doing swatches." It's honestly the number one thing I get told in the store. I don't bother with that. And you don't have to all the time. But if you want to go off-piste, which I spend my entire life going off-piste, if you want to spend going off-piste and you want to have that creativity and start heading off into some different directions and using a pattern as a guide and inspiration, you will need to do a swatch. So that's what I did for this. The very first thing is I got my swatch. I knew exactly what I was playing with, and then I've just been using the measurements from the sweater. So that is up to my armhole length there. What the next portion is, because I've decided to do this as a raglan sleeve, which means that I will be doing the sleeve decrease through here, which is why in hindsight I suddenly thought, well, yes, I am going to do it in a raglan. I've decided. Yes, I have, and I'll show you why. I should have gone top down, but I'm not going to panic about that too much. I say this, and I'm going to get to that arm portion, and I might change my mind again. At this stage, it's going to be a raglan, because I can change my mind whenever I want. Because I decided, I was umming and ahhing last time I was talking to you about what I was going to do with the sleeve. I know Charles was here, Charles Gandy, and he was firing some great suggestions. This is what I ended up going with. So what I'm doing now is knitting the sleeve to go and join up to where I'm at. And this is what I've decided on. I have decided on reverse stocking stitch to allow my little racing stripes, my little twisted stitch racing stripes, to pop out. So when this is attached to the jumper, see, you'll have this lovely contrast between stocking stitch in the body, stocking stitch in the body, and then reverse stocking stitch on the sleeves. So at this stage, I personally think a raglan sleeve will look really good with that, but it will depend on how I'm a bit ambivalent, if I'm brutally honest with you. I am a little bit ambivalent on this, on whether I do that or the other suggestion, and I still haven't, and I think Barbara, if you're here, I think it was your suggestion, it was Barbara's suggestion, is a saddle shoulder, and I'm oscillating. So what that means is taking this up and doing a set-in sleeve up to here, and then taking my racing stripes here all the way up to the collar. And I have to, saddle shoulder, yes, taking it up the neck. Thanks, Barbara. And that is, and I have to admit, I'm like, ooh, I do quite like the idea of that too. So that's what I'm oscillating. Now, I don't need to worry about making that decision until I get this to the length where it needs to join with the armhole. Haha. And the nice thing about that is I have to do two of these. So I have to do this one and another, which means I can delay making decisions. Yeah, Muriel's saying saddle shoulders fit so well. I know Muriel, and he's broad-shouldered. So I'm kind of thinking a saddle shoulder will work, and particularly with those stripes. So it'll really, and then I can have those work into the twist, like have them grow into the twisted rib crew neck at the top. See, I'm oscillating now. I'm thinking I will do a saddle. That's why, in a way, the nice thing about going bottom up is I can delay these decisions until I get there. A couple of little things that I've learned from doing this. One is starting in the round down here. Using magic loop is a pain on the ass, and I hate it. And I've got my lovely little needles that I use, my little short tips that I use for sleeve knitting, and it was a mission. So I have to say, when it comes to doing the second sleeve, I think I'm going to be DPNing it. I know, right? I usually am not a fan of the DPN, but I have to admit, I think the DPN will be easier for that smaller circumference because, as you may have noticed, I wanted this to be quite a firm. I want a good taper and a firm fitting cuff. I started doing a classic make one, but it's reverse stocking stitch. So I've just gone to purling into the front and back of the loop. You're not really going to see it, are you? Why make my life difficult? So I'm doing that. What was the other little thing I did, actually, just to give you that nice clean definition here between the stitches, is I have thrown in, look at that, what would normally be called a fold line in there. So then if he wanted to fold it up, he's got a fold line. But I have actually put that in, what that is it is a row of knit round. Well, actually, it was a knit row after the twisted rib, because when it came to the twisted rib, I did not do this in the round. I actually, because it was such a small circumference, I actually did do it flat and then seamed that sucker. So not that, I think I'm quite proud of my wee seam, not that you can tell. So that's that. So that's what I'm working on. Ask how many stitches used for the lovely side seaming detail, please, Maureen. Okay, I did, all that is literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's 9 stitches. Well, on this one, it's obviously just 4. It's just a 1 and 1 rib there. So that's 7. 1, 2, 3, 7. But with a twisted rib knit stitch for every round. On the side seam, it's 9 because obviously it's stocking stitch. So stocking stitch, then purl, twist, purl, twist, purl, twist until the other end. So it was 9. That's how that worked. And on here, it's it's because it's reverse. It's only 7. So that's how that's worked. So that's where I'm at. I'm actually quite pleased. I'm enjoying knitting it. Really enjoying knitting it. So I am just sort of ticking along. I'm just sort of, tickety tock, tickety tock, tickety tock. Now, if I'd waited, okay, I've been at this, how long have I been at this for, guys? A month? Yeah, if I'd waited another month, I could have actually have done this. But because I had a deadline, I started it myself. If I'd waited another month, I could have done this. I know, there's our friend. There's our Ethan. I could have done the new Aran Pullover. Ethan has launched the new pullover, and I'm going to pull it up on the screen for you to show you. Here's one I had prepared earlier. There we go. Right, so our Ethan, this came out on Monday. Was it Tuesday? Tuesday. I think he launched it in the Hangover on Tuesday. He's been working on this for ages, and I think he's talked about it in diaries with us before. He's been doing a lot of designing over the last several years, actually, but hasn't published any of it. He's been working on a number of designs. He's been playing around with lots of concepts and ideas. He's had some, actually, Kathy's not here this morning, but she's been doing a huge amount of test knitting for him. And he's really had lots of stuff bouncing around in the old noggin to get out. And one of the things that Ethan is wonderful at is detail. And he has seen, and him and I have had this conversation so many times over the years, the need for absolute classic timeless basics for the wardrobe. And this is the first one that he's put out called the Aran Pullover. And he's done it because I can't tell you how many times he's had it in his store, I've had it in mine, where people come in and they say, I just want a basic jumper. And they often want it in pieces. And he's gone and created it. Now, what is different with this one to other jumpers that we've had in the wardrobes or in the pattern libraries for a long, long time? I'll show you. It's the little attention to detail. And the first little attention to detail I'm going to show you is this. As you can see there with my cursor, look at that ribbing. That is a tubular cast on. And he's gone and done this tubular cast on. Most older patterns, you're not going to see that. A lot of people, when they see a tubular cast on, they go, "Nyeh," because it does appear a little bit fiddly. But I implore you, if you've never done one of these cast-ons before, definitely do give it a go. I have to admit I'm lazy, and I would often see tubular cast on. I think, I can't be asked with that. But when I knitted my husband's sweater, the whiskey, was it what the whiskey sweater it was called? No, whiskey sweater? Donegal sweater. Limerick sweater. Came to me. Irish. The Limerick sweater, it had a tubular cast on for its for the collars and cuffs, the cuffs and base, brain gone. And it just looked so good. And it gives you that really beautiful professional finish. And I have to admit, I was like, yeah, I'm so doing this again. And he's also gone and done this detailing, this lovely detailing up around the neck as well, with how he's gone and put decreases in there, just really beautiful little subtle pieces. Now, this is worked in pieces. I'm going to jump out of here and turn this off. So there we go. It is worked in pieces. And you'll be looking at this going, well, why do I need to buy this? I mean, it's a standard sort of pattern. Oh, there's Kathy. Hi, Kathy. It's because of the detailing. And there's two reasons that you're going to buy this. And this is why I think it's really important that you do. One, he has put a tremendous amount of work in. And two, it's the latitude he's placed in the pattern to allow you to make modifications. And you know that makes someone like me really happy. And he's actually gone and done a lot of the heavy lifting. If you're someone like me who likes to modify, and I will do all the calculations myself, he's actually done a lot of that already for you. So you can do your modifications, and you can modify easily. And so he's gone and done this. He has gone also and spent a lot of time on the grading. And what I mean by grading is how he does the sizing and how he's gone and created, particularly around the armholes and the shoulders, to fit every single body. So whether it's a male body, a female body, because let's face it, our bodies are, different. He's gone and done that. So this sweater will be able to suit everybody. And Kathy, I'm so glad Kathy's here, because I know Kathy did the testing for this. And he has had this tested. You tested it in the hedgehog fiber, and he's also gone and put meterages for substitutions. In the newsletter I've sent out, I've gone and put my substitution suggestions, well, the first tranche of them, because there's going to be loads, for you. And yeah, Kathy's saying it's no drama with that cast on. Once you get the hang of it, it really is worth it. And you are right. It is really, really worth it. And in here, it's actually beautifully laid out. I don't know who's done, I'm assuming he's probably done it, but it's really, really well done. He's got some good fit notes here in terms of achieving your fit. And it lets you know in terms of what you're doing with ease. But again, as I said, there's lots of latitude to be able to scale up and scale down. So you can actually, there's no reason why if he's written this to a 20 stitch tension, and he does cite he does cite that doing swatching is essential with this, and I would completely agree, particularly when you're going to do your grading and shaping for the armhole size. You need to know what your row gauge is, and you need to know what your stitch gauge is. So look, spend half an hour doing the swatch. Honestly, that half hour will save a whole bunch of arsehole and headache later on. But look, trust me on this one. So that is there. And then he just really clearly, just systematically goes through the shaping of all the pieces there. It is knitted in pieces. So for those that have gotten really lazy and they don't like sewing anything up, a beautifully executed mattress stitch on a garment like this is a thing of joy. So do not be afraid of doing that. And it's just essentially just a thing of beauty. Now, I did jump onto Ravelry and had a look at some of the pattern, some of the options there. He used hedgehog. One of the options, look at this. I'm glad you're here, Margaret, because this is just for us, because Margaret loves these colours too. Cascade, our Cascade 220 merino in that sweater. Peas and carrots, match made in heaven. If you've been looking for something to work with this yarn, it's fantastic. Kathy's saying I got bang on gauge. To be honest, didn't swatch. Oh, Kathy, because it's pieces just knitted. Oh, right. So what Kathy is saying here, she didn't swatch, but she knitted her first piece, knitted enough of her first piece to measure the gauge. Actually, Kathy, and to be fair, Kathy's gone and done something that I would do. And the piece that you often do is that's when you start with a sleeve. And I don't know whether you've heard Ethan say this, that he's often started knitting a sleeve. He'll often knit sleeves first in a garment, and he'll knit the sleeves first because he'll use the sleeve potentially as his swatch. And then if you're way off piste with your swatch, you've only just knitted of a sleeve, which is like knitting a swatch anyway. So that is a little trick if you want to save some time and you're somebody that just doesn't like knitting swatches. So that never works. Anywho, Cascade 220 merino, perfect. It would be ideal in that pattern. So if you grab some of this while it was on sale, or you want to grab some now, I've gone and popped out in the newsletter what the amounts would be. Oh, and in fact, I was really good in printing my newsletter out so I can tell you when I find it, when she finds it. There it is. So both the Cascade and the Kelly & Co are pretty much the same. I forgot to grab a Kelly & Co. So either of those I think would be amazing. I actually really think, Ethan and I talked about Kelly & Co with this design. He's got some Kelly & Co, which he got from me ages ago, that he's possibly going to get done into this design. He really loves it. And you'll be needing around the same amount of yarn in that. So anywhere from 5 skeins for the smallest size through to 8 skeins for the largest size. So that's fantastic with that. But many of you, I know, picked up some of this. This is the Skeinz tweed, which we did for Epic Sale. We still have some of this left. We've got this cantaloupe colour, and I've reshot this, which is now on the website. The cantaloupe colour, shifting sands, winter green, and I think there's still a little bit of sterling left. This is perfect as well. This would look awesome in that sweater, and you've just got that lovely fleck. $5.95 a ball. Or if you're wanting to knit this and you're wanting to also make sure the budget's in check, we've still got the vintage 10-ply on sale at reduced price at $3.95 a ball. This is ideal, absolutely ideal for this. Now, if you did it in the vintage, you're looking at 11 balls for the smallest size, same for this guy too, 11 for the smallest size through to 17 for the largest size, which works out at, I worked it out for something like $44 for the smallest size through to about $67 for the largest size. I know, right? So there's plenty of options there. I'm going to talk a little bit more about other yarn options probably next week. on this that you can do, but these are ones that you can start. Kathy's saying she used 8.5 skeins of hedgehog fibre for 132 centimetre size. That's 166 metres per skein. Yeah, and this is actually slightly more per skein because Cascade is, the hedgehog is that beautiful worsted spun. This, of course, is woolen spun, so you get a few more extra metres, which is great. Yeah, and this is, as I said, 5 of these through to 8 for the largest size. I did he did say that there was, in terms of contingency, to add extra contingency if you're substituting yarns, because each of the testers got different things. So that is also quite wise. Maree, and the vintage, what were the vintage colours I had in my hands? I was asking Maureen. I grabbed this one. This one is chili, which I personally believe is the most underrated colour in the range. Is chili. It sort of appears a little bit more brickier on the screen that I'm seeing, but it is a beautiful, rich brick-based sort of. It's red meets terracotta. And it's really fantastic. It's seriously the most underrated colour in the range. And it's actually the colour of dried chilies, which is why I called it chili. This one is in Jewel, and everyone, we love Jewel. Jewel is fantastic. So in both of these, we've got stock of these, $3.95 a ball. So brilliant. And Ethan, too, has priced this pattern, I think, incredibly well priced. It's $10. Purchasable on Ravelry. If you're a local and you want to buy it for us, we can store it here in store, so you can do that too. The only other thing too I wanted to let you know with this is, oh, there we go. Just makes, get that sort of all cast on now and give that a bit of love. Oh, there's something that's gone. It's one of those days. It was there and then it went poof right from the out. Oh, stripes. It's back. Thank you. It's back. Striping. It's actually a great pattern if you're wanting to play around with colour, because it's knitted in pieces. There is the ability to do some really fun stuff with striping and have striping move around. You don't have to worry about jogs. It's, you can do all of those sorts of things. Honestly, even Intaja, him and I talked about Intaja, blank canvas right there. There's so much you can do. He has created for you the perfect template to be able to create the best fitting crew neck jumper that you'll ever own, pullover that you'll ever own. So well done. I can't wait. And I think he's got a cardigan in the works, hasn't he, Kathy? And there is as you know, there's the beautiful colourwork cardigan that's out for testing at the moment. There is so much to come, and I can't wait. It's really exciting. Can't wait to see what he's got up his sleeve for the rest of the year. Right, I'm going to keep moving because I've got someone covering the shop for me while I'm chatting to you. What else we're back here this weekend. If you're in town, come and visit us. Until then, you have a great weekend knitting, and I will catch up with you next week. Until then, take care.